Hi, I'm Nikki Butler and I'm a skin and scar specialist. And in this video, I wanted to talk to you about beauty filters. Now, it's something that's really been on my mind a lot recently. And as I've been scrolling through social media and reading magazines, it's becoming more and more apparent that heavy beauty filters are actually being applied. And having looked at some of the apps, they're super sophisticated. So I've actually written a blog where I've shared some photographs where I've actually used one of the most popular beauty filter apps, and it is staggering the difference that I've been able to make to my appearance. And actually there were a lot of features that I didn't apply, but you will see the difference. And the reason that I wanted to talk about it and to show exactly how I'd adapted my own pictures is because I actually feel that these beauty filters are really, really quite dangerous and damaging. And I think as a 47-year-old woman, you know, if you look at the photographs that I've taken where I've adapted the pictures with the filter, if you didn't know that that's what I'd done and that's what I was sharing online, that's a really unrealistic expectation of what a 47-year-old woman would look like. And it's really easy to compare ourselves and think, why don't I look like that? And I know that particularly when I've spoken with a lot of my clients and they'll bring photographs in or show me a photograph on their phone of an influencer or a celebrity that is around about the same kind of age and say, why don't I look like that? Or I wish I could look like that. What treatments do I need? And the reality is, it's not achievable. It's not realistic. And I think, you know, one of my favourite sayings has always been, comparison is the thief of joy. And I really, really believe that that is true. But I think it's gone to a whole new level now where we are seeing influencers and celebrities on social media. And there's a combination of where people have had treatments done or tweakments, which are more minor kind of enhancements, but there's a lot of heavy filters. And if that's what we're comparing ourselves to and thinking that that is the gold standard for beauty or what we should look like at, say, mid to late 40s, then we're going to really have our own confidence and self-esteem knocked and actually then seek out treatments to achieve a result that isn't realistic. And that can lead to mental health issues, you know, to feeling quite sort of depressed or losing your confidence, but also to wasting an awful lot of money on treatments and products in the hope that you're going to achieve the same look. I also have a huge issue with this in terms of what does that say for our younger generation, you know. And one of the reasons that I've jumped on to do a video actually was because in the last week I've seen several photographs from people that I know, that I'm aware of, and the filters that they've applied, if I saw them in the street, I wouldn't recognise them. That is not what they look like when I see them on the street. And I mean, I joke, very tongue-in-cheek, and I'll say, wow, if I had a filtered photograph and I go missing, if that's what you gave to the media to find me, you wouldn't recognise me. And you'll see from the photographs that I've adapted, I do not look like that. So not only, you know, is it that false representation of how I look and creating feeding into the stereotype of what is beautiful, I think it's damaging to have like a series of photographs that actually don't look like you. That's my personal view. And then I worry about how will that affect, you know, I have young nieces and I see some of the younger generation that you can enhance lips, you can change the shape of your nose, cheekbones, face shape. Actually, I created a slimmer face and larger lips on one of the photographs. And then you've got the younger generation that are thinking, I should look like that. Why don't I look like that? And I think it's no coincidence that there's been such a rise in mental health issues because I believe that social media really feeds into that with a false representation of what we look like. And that's just on the look, you know, how do we look kind of thing. I always think that social media is just a snapshot into a life. It's not what's real in somebody's life, but we're talking more in the terms of these beauty filters. So I'd love to know what you think about this. Like, you know, I get that it can be a bit of fun and I see people play around with some of the filters, but it's when it's used as a misrepresentation of what somebody looks like, and if it's used by influencers and celebrities or in the media, or it's being used to sell you a treatment or a product perhaps, and you're thinking, well, if I use that or if I have that treatment, that's how I will look. So the only filters I ever apply to photographs that I take are usually lighting, are usually just the lighting, because I'm terrible at taking photographs. That's typically what I will just adjust the light balance, and that is it, because I want you to see what before and afters are for my clients when my clients are kind enough to give permission to share. And I want you to see what I look like as a 47-year-old woman going through menopause, because then when we're having conversations about treatments or what's realistic, you have a better idea of what's real. And also when it comes down to treatments, I say this again and again, it's about an inside out and outside in approach. So we will always look at lifestyle factors, nutrition, and all the elements that play into having amazing skin. So I am going to post the link to the blog post that I've written, and you'll see the photographs that I have adapted, that I've applied filters to, and I have actually to mention the app that I use and the settings that I changed, so you can just see where I've played around with, eye shape, face shape, skin, removing the wrinkles, and I'd be really interested to hear what you think on this topic. It's something I feel really strongly about in terms of stereotyping, false expectations, and as I said, I feel like comparison is the thief of joy, and I think this feeds into it. And probably a topic for another blog. I think the word anti-aging is, I'm not anti-aging. I want to look the best I possibly can for my years, but aging is a privilege, right? Like, it's such a privilege. So to be able to embrace that and find a way to feel confident in our own skin is very powerful. Please reach out if you'd like to have a chat or discover how you can feel more confident in your skin, or you want to have a chat about the impact of the beauty filters for you. You can email me on nikki@nikkibutler.co.uk or reach out to me on any of my social media channels. Thanks for listening.